Welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandi Thee Millennial Manager. If you are not following me on social media, you are definitely missing out. You can follow me at Brandi Thee Millennial Manager on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and a brand new YouTube account. There's only one episode there because it is quite difficult to upload YouTube videos. You have to cut the episode by 15 minutes and then update the second half. And so I'm working on getting those done because y'all know I still got a full-time job, just being real. Okay. Now let's go into our topic for today. We're going to be discussing termination. It is our email episode. So I'm going to be reading emails, and I'm going to tell you this first one is pretty long, so bear with you, girl, okay? All right, so our first email comes from Betty, and it says, I was recently fired during my 6-month probationary period. She goes on to say that she took this other position because she wanted to leave a toxic and hostile work environment. And she said that it was endangering her mental health. So she took another position in what she thought would be a great opportunity. Within the first 30 days, she was called into her supervisor's office where someone was telling her supervisor that she had disappeared on the floor. They couldn't find her. She explained to her supervisor that is not true. And it happened again. And this time she said, well, the person that was looking for me, did they say that they tried to call me? Like, did they try to text me? Because she is a registrar in a hospital, so she has to go in and out of rooms, and no one tried to reach her. So the supervisor was like, nobody did try to reach you, so let me try again. Because to me, when I read this email, I feel like she was just trying to get rid of your ass for some weird reason. It goes on to say she kind of messed up, y'all, okay? She was 1 minute late to work. And then this is where now you actually doing something that I can document. This is the manager. Like, now you have been late 1 minute to work. So she pulled her into the office, the supervisor did, and let her know that you have broken the attendance policy. You need to be on time for work. And the employee, our Betty, she agreed. She said, yeah, but, I got behind a serious accident, but I'll make sure that, I don't have this problem again. From there, the relationship or the conversation that the supervisor would have with Betty would just be extremely crazy. Like, she would start saying, you never know who's watching you, kind of instilling paranoia in Betty. And this is a tactic that a lot of managers use to control you, right? They want you to be nervous about your job because that helps you make mistakes, which helps them get you up out of here. So she really didn't like you. She couldn't really get you off of anything that you were doing because I guarantee you she was making up those stories that somebody said that they were looking for you. She needed something else, and she's going to start instilling fear because it creates paranoia, and you are able to make mistakes because you're not really focused on the task. You're focused on not making mistakes. So that's exactly what this lady did. So it just goes on and on and on about the lady micromanaging her. The woman was having employees shadow her, which is not shadowing like for them to learn, but shadowing for them to watch her and see what she's doing in her job. And she is kind of defeated by this because eventually it does get to the point where the manager terminates her. And baby, in the email, it kind of seemed like you were like, I'm so sad. Like, I'm upset about that. And I get it. But girl, thank God. Okay. Because this email was 2 miles long and you only worked there for 6 months. Baby, no. You better thank God. Yeah, it was probably a terrible situation because now you have to deal with the termination. But baby girl, you better thank the Lord that you got up out of there. Because that manager is not anybody that I would even want to see myself working underneath. Like, you dodged a damn bullet. And I can tell that it's still bothering you about how long this email is, because I had to go through and paraphrase. It was a very long one. But you have to move forward and accept what is and go on to your professional career. In your email, you also said that you're going to be going to school. Do that, baby, please. But don't go and don't feel bad or feel like you did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. That lady did not like you from the beginning. And all she needed was for you to make a mistake. And you did. And when you make a mistake, you give them room. And now they have this margin of error. And they can say anything about your attendance. They can say anything about your posture in the workplace. They can say anything because you gave them the space. So if y'all facing termination and you're trying to figure out why, it ain't always because you actually did something. Sometimes it's just because this manager does not like you and they can't really put nothing on you. So they're going to instill fear to create error because you're so worried about making mistakes. You're not focused on doing a job. So your focus is taken off of your actual responsibility. Now you're worried about your job, which means that you're going to make a mistake. You're going to slip up just like this young lady here and give them space. So if you're going through this, please know this is just a tactic that people use to get your ass up out of there because they don't like you. And it ain't got nothing to do with, your work ethic and all that. No, when somebody is doing this, it's simply because they don't like you. Is it professional? Absolutely not. But it is a tactic that I have seen managers use in my past. So I'm telling you, be mindful, y'all, of who y'all working with, because everything ain't all peaches and gravy. Just because they're a supervisor does not mean that they are or that they should be. I'm going to just say that. Just because they are a supervisor does not mean they should be. I definitely wish you all the best, honey, because my God, today, I was mad reading it. And I'm just telling you, you dodged a bullet, take your ass to school, get your degree, get some certifications, and go into HR like you're planning on doing so that you can really make a difference. Okay, so our next email comes from another Betty, and y'all, this one just about broke my heart. Last year, exactly 1 year ago today, I was told by my doctor I needed to step down due to medical. I was refused an entire year, meaning her company, her job said, no, you cannot. Okay, y'all, I know, me too. They stopped posting positions I can step into, but continued to hire in those roles. Eventually, my doctor sent another letter to her company, and they still refused. I ended up having surgery and had to have a complete hysterectomy, blood transfusion due to the weight. Now I have accommodations through September of 2025, can't lift over 25 pounds, and overhead more than 10. I haven't had help since I've been back to work. 1 year, I injured myself, and my coworkers were upset because my department is the only department without help now. My store manager told me 1 month ago he didn't care about my medication schedule, and he changes my schedule after it's posted against company policy in parentheses, which affects the rotation I take my meds. I had to put on a hormone patch 2 weeks ago, and he kept insisting to go into his office instead of the bathroom. After asking him 4 times, and I shouted, no, I'm going to the women's bathroom, he stopped. I listened to gospel music in my car on my break, and one day someone handmade a very large crucifixion cross and placed it in my drawer. And the following day, made a large crucifixion headpiece, like with the thorns, okay, y'all? Made of all nails, and placed it in my desk also. I turned in the headpiece and nothing was done. It was very offensive. What can I do? Please help. Call an attorney. You need to call an attorney right now because you're saying you can't quit your job. We know that. But you are working in a very hostile work environment. They have refused you to have a procedure. Your manager is not allowing you to take your medication at the proper time. He is refusing to follow the accommodations. You have a case, baby. You need to go talk to an attorney ASAP. I don't know what you're waiting on. You're not wrong in this situation. You need to talk to a damn attorney today, okay? I'm about to email you back right now, and you better go talk to an attorney. I mean now. All right, we got another FMLA situation. This one says, I was on your post about being terminated on the job on Instagram. I have worked at my agency for 18 years, which is nonprofit. I went out on FMLA and have exhausted personal time. I received a call from the medical leave department, and they said, in case I am terminated, I would be rehired if I wanted to come back to the agency, providing there is a position available. Baby, now, in your email, you asked, how should you proceed? First of all, I need to know what you have exhausted. Is it your PTO, or is it the set amount of hours that you are able to be out on FMLA? So with FMLA, you have 12 weeks of unpaid time. So which one did you exhaust? Because you did not list that. So that's very important. Also, I want y'all to really learn the laws of FMLA in your state. And I want you to research, because some of these jobs are playing in y'all face because you don't know. So I want you to look up the company policy regarding FMLA. I also want you to look up the company policy on being rehired, because that doesn't mean that you're going to get your salary that you had before. That doesn't mean that you're going to get the benefits that you had before, especially after being with the company for 18 years. You have been there for a extended amount of time and have worked up to probably a great salary, I would hope, after 18 years. Okay? So if I were you, I would, number one, research the policies surrounding FMLA with my company. Ask for a company handbook. I would fight it. You are not going to be terminated. You're not going to tell me, oh, you can be eligible for rehired. No. Medical leave department is not HR. Okay? So you need to make sure that you get the direct information from the right person, because this person said, you ain't got nothing in writing. You received a phone call. There was nothing on paper, and you cannot argue with what is in black and white. I don't know exactly how long you done been out, because you did not list that in this email. So we need some specifics for me to be able to kind of say exactly what's going on. But to me, I think you need to research your FMLA. You need to research your company policy on rehire, and you also need to get some clarification from the company. That's exactly where I would start. It's a short email, so my response is a little limited, but when you are on FMLA, y'all, you have 12 weeks of unpaid leave. That is not the same as your PTO. Okay? Okay. In summary, what have we learned today? Number one, that a manager will come after your ass if they just don't like you. Okay? It ain't got nothing to do whether or not you do the job well. They just don't like you. So they will create a problem. And then once they do that, once they create that target for you, now you're scared. You're nervous, and you're going to make a mistake, which opens the door for opportunity. Then we learned today that FMLA, y'all, is not the same as your PTO. So you need to make sure that you are clear on the policies surrounding FMLA with your company. Do not just go in blind. Ask for company policy. You don't think these people will lie to you? They will. They will lie. So if I were you, I would get some clarification, all right? And make sure that you understand exactly what's happening. Do not just accept their word for it, because they will lie just as sure as they have an ass. All right? Thank you so much. We have now reached the end of the email episode. We will be back to discuss more termination tactics, and then also what to do if you are facing termination not because of performance, but because of other reasons. So we're going to be discussing that on Friday. Make sure you are following me on social media. Also, make sure you're following this podcast so that when new episodes are uploaded, you can see exactly when they're on Apple, when they're on Spotify, and you don't DM me and say, girl, what episode is up there? You just got to make sure you're following so that you don't miss any updates. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see y'all on the internet. Bye-bye.